we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about where we're going before we get lost. And be our thoughts. Can't get what we want without knowing. I've never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm moving too far. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Figure out where we're growing. Yeah.
Good night and welcome to another exciting episode of Talk That. I'm your boy Leo and I'm here with my co-host
Penny, Patricia, Keisha, Shanique,
and good night and welcome. You guys know what to do. Share, like, and hashtag Talk Back to be entered to win fabulous prizes and some gift backs from us to you. Now, starting off tonight, we have the lovely Miss Simmons to my left.
well, Leo, way to give him my name. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm here to introduce our first segment, which is called In to Know. Now, you all know we had a lot of stuff going on this week, right? So guess what? We are about to get started and kick this off talking about how Mr. Bean was locked on at age 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, gentlemen, he was locked on at age 8. How do you all feel about that? I feel as if it goes against his constitutional rights. It's no way that the public is locked off from Parliament Square. It's the People's Square. We've heard Minnie said that before. We've heard Brave said that before. I don't know what makes it so different. COI wants to access the square. I don't know what they're afraid of.
But it seems that the COI is locked up with a lot of stuff. Like every time we try to go somewhere, or the movement try to go somewhere, it's some barrier or some blockade or some, they always try to stop us from
the company support, but guess what? He went out by himself and showed up just on behalf of the Bahamian people. We want to hear what you have to say for Mr. David off of the HOA. But now, again, in the know, we're going to introduce another topic until you chime in. Remember to give us a call. Now we're going to talk about Keith Bell. Listen. You know, immigration is a hot topic. We chimed in on that last week. Let's talk about it because I can kid you not, this immigration matter is getting out of control.
According to who?
Yes. According to who?
according to Keith.
What immigration problem?
Because according to Keith, we don't have one. We don't have any
Listen,
immigration problem.
even the blind, the deaf, and the mute in CCU have an immigration problem.
The minister said there is no problem.
Well, it's amazing after that they caught some illegals in Crooked Island with drugs on the boat, by the way.
One way.
So, with the New Day shirt.
Oh, New Day shirt. I saw this design. Get that shirt on. Get that shirt.
Well, they're shipping them to Haiti.
I was told that a picture was fabricated and I was to make the appeal.
Nice.
Bad.
No way.
Really?
That's what they say.
You know, they rely on this decent big government. So now all these, everybody know, everything how well they are doing.
If it was fabricated, I think if I had fabricated that photo, everybody in the photo would have had on a PLE shirt. That's the truth.
That is true.
When I fabricate one shirt, they would have been the flag, wearing the hat, everything. That's your thing.
We have yet to see this administration's plans when it comes to immigration and when it comes to crime in this country. We have been asking them to present their plans for immigration and crime for weeks now. They have yet to present it. Do they have a plan?
No.
No. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what y'all to call in, probably Keith Bell, Wayne Monroe. What y'all call in and let us know.
They don't have a,
What the plans are for immigration and
they don't have
crime.
an immigration plan, they don't have an education plan, they don't have a plan for social services, they don't have a plan for crime, infrastructure, nothing.
So plan, they have a plan straight, they have a Bohemian dialect, right? Mr. Bean and Polish Vision 2025, you see that in implement carbon.
Oh, but that is that plan, that's Mr. Bean's
So
plan.
then they,
So that cherry, it came from the Vision 25
Vision
and passing it off as their own.
Vision thieves.
Listen, the PLP celebrating 1 year anniversary and they have a less about that long.
Longer.
A list of what?
Things that they accomplished, no mask, put the next one.
But they're not accomplishing.
No more lockdown.
That's such a whole debate.
They say they
Come on, you know that's a bunch of
And
bullshit,
the
right?
school was open back up.
You know that's a bunch of bullshit, right? I mean, how is that beneficial to me? We all know that one day this would have come to an end. But how is this beneficial to me as a Bahamian woman who lost my job during COVID and I have my kids to support and my home to take care of and all of these other things that go with that.
Preacher sister, I'm glad you touch on that because that's exactly my viewers. I've seen all the advertisements speaking on the good governance and what the government is doing right, but yet people are still hurting, people are still hungry, and oh Jesus, they didn't even touch on
Begging for
chicken.
chicken, people on Senate Voice still begging for chicken to eat.
Honestly, it's real, the struggle is real out there. I think they need to highlight that as opposed to all of these things that was a prerequisite. We know that the country was going to open back up eventually. This is not the first pandemic that happened inside the world. So that was automatically going to happen. But listen, the immigration problem, what are we doing? What have they put out there to the public that speaks to them improving the immigration? Now, I know you said we don't have an immigration problem, right? So are they just going to keep pretending that immigration problem doesn't exist?
Yes.
Listen, we want to hear from you. So we are talking about what's going on, but we want to hear from you. So the number is 804-4264 for those of you that want to chime in this conversation.
And don't forget the hashtag talk that if you want to win some prizes and surprises as well.
Yeah.
But the immigration problem that we had in just started, this has been going on for decades. So it's retarded of Keith Bell to come on live and say, we don't have an immigration problem.
I want to know if Wayne Monroe feels the same way Keith Bell does because he hasn't came out and say anything yet.
Wayne
As
has
it
been
pertains to crime.
quiet.
Very quiet.
Wayne has been quiet.
Very,
lately.
very,
What's going
very
on with him?
He traveling it.
Into he may be in the entourage.
I don't see
Listen,
in hiding.
he's in hiding.
Not over as
Hiding from
strong.
what?
Not over as strong. For them not to see the problems in this country, not over as strong.
Listen, it's not a problem when the Prime Minister himself said that this land is your land, this land is my land, you all come. It's not a problem when they have an open call to come to a place where they are welcome. It's not a problem when the persons that are supposed to be protecting our borders are told to stand down.
Mhm.
It's not a problem when the persons that are locking them up are told to release them.
Yes.
So I can understand when people say, what immigration crisis?
So you think he was being sarcastic in saying that?
I think this whole thing is a joke.
Let me take this one.
This whole thing is a joke because everybody in the market see we have a problem.
David, do you all agree? Do you all agree with Keith Bell? Do you feel like we have an immigration problem? Because it's clearly that he's saying it from a different side.
and we just, I guess, saying things. Let me know. I want to hear your views. How do you feel about the immigration problem? The number again is 804-4264. Okay. Now, we touch on immigration. We're going to wait for the callers to call in to share their views because we want a daily dose of how you see it. Now, I heard the speech and I see the comments dropping out around saying, Brad did a good speech, and guess what? His speeches are improving. I must say, I'm very impressed. No pun intended. He did an excellent job delivering his speeches. However,
You mean reading a teleprompter?
well, his speeches. However, I've also seen that him being sympathetic to the Bahamian needs, because we talk about immigration and we talk over and over, share how the Bahamian public is struggling, how persons are hurting, and guess what? All of that was included in his teleprompter speech. Let me get it right then.
Thank you.
BPL, let's talk about it because I know lots of people, lights are off, lots of people wanted the law since the government lifted with the pandemic. Let's talk about it. What happens next? Where are we going from here? BPL is saying that they're just going to do a gradual increase and they're going to amp from from $300 to $400 in terms of that. How do you all feel about it? Do you feel like the government is really looking out for us if we couldn't afford the VAT on $300 and they're going to increase it? Let's talk about it. How do you all feel about BPL?
Let me give you all back a few years back when we had units running this share. If you guys remember, you guys could call and correct me if I'm wrong. The VAT on BPL was $200 and then it's raised it to $300. And the PLP had a whole field day about raising it on the poor and the backs of poor people. We ain't never do that, they say. The people can't afford that, they say. This and that, none they say. And lo and behold,
It's a new day.
listen.
Brad had said that the light was going to be free. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Oh,
Brad said that electricity was going to be free. So
yeah.
how do you go from free to now
To increase.
increase?
Let's talk about it. Because this is a problem. It seems like the government promised a lot of things to get in. Then when they come in, there's a change. Why is it? You know, Mr. Bean offer people free life, no life bill at all, but then you voted for this government and now we have an increase on light bill. Come on, let's talk about it because people are hurting. The country is hurting. We cannot take this. Inflation is over 8%, and I know that the speech entails all of this stuff that's going on that we are aware of. But how is it going to balance out? Do you feel like it's going to balance out? When VAT first came into play, they said VAT is going to be used to pay off the debt. The debt is still here. Every government, since I've been able to work for the past 4 consecutive elections, we've always had a debt. The debt never seems to go down. So if you implement VAT for the debt to go down, what is happening now? You place the carbon credits and say that would be used for it. Do you think this government is of this word?
No, not at all. No. They don't.
Well, they intend to raise the minimum wage to $2.50, so I guess that would supplement for the loss.
Make it to what? 250?
But $2.50,
What is
in my humble opinion, $2.50 still.
Okay, so with
That's
that,
really just the fact.
okay, so with the 250.
But not cutting you off, they're raising minimum wage to $2.50, but they're going up on national insurance. So it still don't make sense.
Listen, there's no relief. Where is the relief? We need the relief here. They're always adding stuff on Bahamian people, telling them they help to do this because of the debt, which they already have provision in place. That's what VAT was implemented for.
Right.
The Bahamian people paid their VAT taxes, and guess what? We still have a national debt. Do you think that this government could manage their money properly with the VAT and the carbon credit? Because it seems that every government comes in, tells us that anything that they tax the people is going to be used to pay off debt, and we still are in debt.
And
We need to change.
If you really look at it, remember what had really happened. Okay, gas prices going down, right?
Mhm.
Oil went down. Why? As soon as oil went down, I think Mr. Bailey touched on it last night. Electricity went up. Who's benefiting? It's not us. So I don't think it's a care factor. They're in a position where
there is a missing link, and we have to fill in that missing link.
That burden.
Yeah, we carry that burden, and it's a tax burden. Again,
Yeah.
yes, right now. But electricity is going up.
I'm tired of the government implementing things and saying that it's for the betterment of the people, and people are still struggling. For the first time, I heard the leader set a plan where everybody wins. Why can't the government issue something where everyone wins? They're saying that this is put in place to improve what we have going on here in the Bahamas, but I don't feel so because they've never been to live up to their word.
No, they're not gonna ever implement a plan where everybody wins because they don't have a heart for the people. You want to have a heart and a passion for your people to want to see them do better or to give them stuff that's gonna empower them. They don't want their people empowered. They want us in a position where we always have to be beggars. We always in a position where we need. They give us just enough to keep us going for the next day.
Yeah.
Or maybe the next hour. They're not gonna give us sufficient to overflow.
Well, someone has to be benefited. I don't think the government only does stuff
Of
just
course,
to
no one's
benefit the
benefiting.
people.
So all of that, the white boys, the
not the
Street boys, those are the ones who's referring. Let's just put it up there. The all of that and the Bay Street boys and you all know.
I feel like they've been mismanaging the country's funds for decades now. They spend money like drunken sailors in a poorhouse. You know, it's disgusting what they've been doing. Knowing the situation a lot of Bahamian people facing today. Knowing that our streets are garbage, the schools are garbage, the hospitals are garbage. Everything around here doesn't make any sense. How do we make it make sense?
This is how, and I can tell you all listen to the speech of Ray yesterday. Because at the end of his speech, you know what Ray said? You all know. He said, hold on just a little bit longer. Because your government is going to be there for you. Hold on to what? What we holding on to? More access.
We like bats in the cave. How long we been holding on?
We just need, there's no hope.
He only saying what he used to say. Hold on to this money, vote for me, and when I get it, I can handle you. So he said, hold on to whatever, and when the next election come
Some
around,
people can't hold on.
That sounds like,
Some people just say last ditch effort.
yeah.
Today is their last ditch effort to find some money to pay their rent, to pay their children's school fees,
Yeah.
to pay their light bill. How much longer you want these people to hold on?
Let me
That
tell
almost
you.
sound like in my next term.
yeah,
I just gonna do that.
it's just a different word.
I feel like
That's
he's
different
being
words.
slick because they're taking polls. Notice they're constantly checking the temperature, how people feel regarding their governance. And so when they're making their speeches, they're trying to appeal to what the Bahamian persons are complaining about. But we are sick and tired of promises. Every election, a promise is being made and nothing is being done. So we need change.
That's right.
We need change. This is a new generation, and
Yes, it is.
yeah, this is a new generation. We can't keep accepting or encouraging the same things without any results. We need results, or we need proof in the pudding. Why couldn't they give the carbon credits to the poor and allow us to just buy the solar panels and so everyone benefit? You understand? Why BPL have to only benefit just a few? Because it is not benefiting us.
No, it's not.
We're only good enough for the farmers. She touched on minimum wage being raised to $250. Some people rent or mortgage costs $1,000 a month, and when they left it, and I deal with it. So that means that's an average family still have to go and find another job. That means a father's away from his kids or mother's away from their kids. That's not solving the problem. And how would it balance over time? Why not give us something that's going to help the people now and then tell us why to help the people, then we're going to increase the prices of BPL so that the Bahamian could afford to pay for the absorbent costs. Why can't it be in reverse?
That's what is deceptive though, because we also understand that NID coming out that, VAT coming out that.
Yeah.
Right. So really, that's only like $195.
But if somebody making minimum wage, $250 a week, have to pay $750 of rent. They're only left with $250.
Saying a deficit. Because you have to take school fee out of that. You have to get groceries or the
Gas to get to work.
gas. So
Medical bill, God help if they're sick. Yeah, absolutely.
Payment,
That's
that's nothing.
That's the second.
But we say, hang on, just a little while.
Listen, I don't take time on Jessica, because they're not,
I get on for
their
that.
words, minutes said the same thing, and guess what? We didn't have the results.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. You know, we are talking about what's going on in the news this week, and you are in to know. You are saying the same things that we're saying. We're privy to all the same information. We want to hear from you. The lines are open, 804-4264. Give us a daily dose on how you feel about what's going on. We touched on BPL, we touched on crime, and we touched on BPL, and we touched on immigration. Let us know your views.
I have a question. So what you guys really think is a decent salary per week? In your opinion, what do you think minimum wage should be?
$300 now.
Nothing under $350. Nothing under $350. I agree. 350.
I think 250 should be for immigrants.
Yeah.
$250.
$300 is no.
Yeah.
But that's unlimited. Not on, they don't pay for BPL.
Mm-hmm.
They're already getting free lights. They don't pay for.
They don't pay for
Fuel, the fuel they generate. This right now, I think I'll put a Bahamian public, because it seems that we are the only one that feels whatever decision our government is making on it, we suffer. You know, we suffer for it because the average person now have to look at, okay, my life bill is going on. We've already changed. I know many of you changed them. Okay,
We have a call on the line.
listen. I can't take another increase on my life bill, even if it's $20.
Good night, caller. Talk that.
Good night, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Hey, good night. I'm Mr. Valdez, Josh. Can you come in? I'm going to talk about the subject, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what to say, man. It's like this country right now, as we know it, it's like it's on a downward spiral. Everything with a control. Crime with a control. Corruption with a control. Immigration problem with a control. Then, like, every time you turn around, you're hearing something happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, and everything is, and the same for the government is just highlighting the little mediocre stuff that they're doing right. You know, and I call it mediocre stuff because these things have already been going on. Every election, they're always promising to, you know, give persons jobs and give persons a home, or, you know, just trivial stuff. We want change. We want permanent change, where the human people can rest assured that, guess what? We can live comfortably. We don't have to worry about you telling us you're going to increase minimum wage because provision is already there. Okay, the Bahamian people are satisfied with the governance that's going on.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still here.
okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you too, but you're still low.
Okay, so how do you feel about the minimum wage, or the promised minimum wage increase?
You always say this, you don't make it when it's right up to 250. Right?
To 250.
Yeah, it's at 250.
To me, that ain't gonna make much of a difference. That ain't gonna make much of a difference. He was talking like, well, there's 4 or 5. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, but that's like what? That's like a $40 increase. What that gonna do?
Yeah.
$40 increase. What that gonna do?
You know, it's livable wages. We need to
Yeah.
get on this minimum wage right here.
I agree. I agree.
We need to have wages to coincide with the cost and the price of living.
And this
You understand? A family of 5 or 3 cannot survive off of $250 or $500.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I agree.
Ideal minimum wage.
Pardon me, say it again.
Why do you feel like $500 will be an ideal minimum wage?
Yeah, I think it would be to a degree, but like right now, all the controls is that single mothers of their son with 2, 3, 4 children, only got 2, then they'll live off some make it less than that. Hey, come on.
Listen, we agreeing with you, you know, and I'm glad that you're sharing your view because it's not just coming from us. People are hurting, and you're absolutely correct. In some homes now, because of the pandemic, there's just one income in the household. Families are struggling, trying to make ends meet because of one income. You understand? And it's putting stress on the home. So if the minimum wage needs to be increased, and just how the government came and said their hands were tied and they had to increase BPL. Why couldn't they say our hands are tied, the people are struggling, let's increase minimum wage? Why can't they always be hasty to increase something that's going to benefit the people? You know, we are tired, Paula. I'm glad that you called in. You know, I'm glad that you shared your views. Is there anything else you want to add?
I would like to know what would it take for us to be able to call an early election, because in all honesty, I can't take another year.
Hit the streets.
I don't know, if y'all can handle 4 years with this, buddy, I can't.
When the clarion call is made,
Everybody gets up to show up. But y'all forget, if you come out in large numbers, the government would have to stand down. But when it's a being called for the people to come, we don't get the numbers that we need. Yeah.
I don't, man. If anyone wonder what the talking about doing this, we gotta stop clapping up and be about this and make things happen. Because until we do this, they can never take us serious. They can never push over and put people. See what I'm saying? We have to make this change. I don't know if y'all want your great grand to still be living out. After y'all want, still paying off debt and still making up bed and cleaning toilet, no hotel. That's it. That's all you really want.
It's called enslavement.
Everyone understand my voice. Everyone who watching this thing with that.
Continue to preach the gospel of the New Bahamas, and maybe one day soon, we'll get there.
She said, continue to preach the gospel of the New Bahamas, and maybe one day soon you'll get there. Paula, we heard.
I'm gonna stop. Everyone will come in contact with us. Try to put them on. Some people stubborn. Some people just set me ways like. You know, everyone, the majority die out after the PLP. But I be trying. I try.
Well, you know, that's why we keep promoting change, and we keep going to share the news and talk about it and keep the government, you know, to the forefront. Let people know what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. We're not here to only, you know, critique what they're doing. But caller, we want to thank you for calling in. Like I said, we've heard your heart. Yeah,
man, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
For anyone else who want to call in, the number again is 804-4264. Let's hear how you feel about immigration. Now,
right before we give the minimum wage, I want you guys to understand that minimum wage is not raised. It's not actually $50 raise. The minimum wage right now is $210 if I'm not mistaken. So he's laughing over the $40. Right from the lower. We have a caller. Go ahead. Good night, caller. Talk that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to call in tonight to thank each and every one of you for doing this live chat. COI has been a life changer to me and keeping me educated on what's going on in my Bahamas. I've spent the last 40 years of my life in the United States, and I am now transitioning back home. And I cannot believe the things that I see and the way our Bahamians are living and the way we are suffering as people. I don't know this character, Keith Bell, and who he really is, but for him to say that we don't have an immigration problem, it's crazy. I come home at least once or twice a year. I've been coming home more frequently now, and I have a hard time finding business with my people to spend my money with my Bahamian businesses and my Bahamian people. I don't understand where everybody is when it comes to work and businesses, and Bahamians really striving. I understand that this government looks like they're in the business of oppressing our people. So I'm just calling tonight to say that I am on board with the COI and movement, that we are now looking to move into New Bahamas. Went to Abaco when I was there this year, and everywhere I looked and turned, there was Haitians all over the place. I went to Guana Key to visit an old friend. There was Haitians on that boat. I think I was about the only Bahamian on the boat, and every stop there was tons of Haitians getting on board to go to work. My cousin was devastated from the Dorian hurricane, and I went there to assist and help him out. And he's, you know, still struggling 3 years later without a home because he lost his home and his wife in the storm. And the government have the gall to go to Abaco and demolish those homes that people were living in to make a living or to at least have a livelihood. So there's a lot of work to be done there in the Bahamas, and I am aboard to come and be an asset to my nation as I transition back into my culture. And I just want to thank you, ladies, for doing such a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
Well, she talked that. She talked that, and she shared how she feels. Carla, we're glad to have you. Yeah, I'm home. We're glad to have you a part of, you know, this movement, because change in coming is definitely here. Listen.
No, it's not $50.
No.
Because I want people not to think that they can give you guys $50. It really is. No, do you say that $40? You get the 40, you get a good. But I'm just saying, after they think of you guys, they think of you guys, give them $40 to share.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's not okay. That's not
I feel as
okay.
though when they're losing their grip, they would throw crumbs out at you. Because come on now, you know how long they were talking about it but never implemented? Their first thing was to deal with the illegal immigrants to make them legal, but yet still we are suffering. We're hurting. But now they want to hold our attention as to say, this is what, listen, you know, I keep hearing just a stroke of the pen. Sign it. What happened? Your hand cramp whenever it's time to sign something us as Bahamians. What is wrong? I feel as though, you know, I had this thing of when Dr. Minnis was the prime minister. I literally used to vomit when he would say, yes, I literally used to vomit when he would say, I love you all. Because every time he said that, we suffered.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Literally, we suffered.
Opposite.
Every time he said he loved us, I used to sit down in my sofa and I say, girlfriend, yes, I talk to myself and I say, tell me what's up, baby girl. You hear what this man said? He said he loved you. Watch. No, he's gonna love you. Then he implements something that literally began to squeeze your oxygen out of your body. Okay? So to me, the PLP now is playing a left I love you game.
You have another call on the line. Good night, caller. Talk that. Good night, caller. You there?
Hi, I'm just calling in to chime in on this interesting topic you guys are having. And I think our problem is, I think the main problem in the Bahamas, they were always led by persons who were, had other heritage in them. So I don't think they could really care for Bahamians. I actually think they really sat down, and I think that was discussed, that they can keep this thing going on until they could turn our nation over to them, because they all had Haitian heritage. So I honestly feel like that was a strategy they were doing from way back. Now, what I want to ask you guys is, what will happen now with this new discovery of this how the Haitian nationals, all these citizenships that they're giving out? And I don't mean to just talk about the Haitians, but this is the main one that's really cramping our economy. I mean the Chinese too, but we're looking at it from a holistic point of view where the Haitians, we know they large in numbers, and we know that it is the plan for them to try to take over our country. But how they are, what will happen now with the discovery of this wrong, what should I say, how they were giving out citizenships, illegal citizenships, I should say. I wonder if the government will now recognize that they were doing it wrong, and I hope these people do not have voting rights in our country going forward, because this is one of the main concerns that bothers most Bahamian, the fact that these people can determine the outcome of their elections and the way your country runs. So we need to get some feedback from the government on that, whether they're going to honor the Constitution, or we just need to tear the whole thing down and start over. And when I say the whole thing down, shut this country down and get them gone. So yeah, I'll hang up and listen to you guys, but that's something we really need to focus on, that, hey, you're going to honor our Constitution now, and those citizenships that you've been giving out like candy, you could cease them now because they're null and void. Yeah? So I'll listen to you guys. Thank you for taking my call. All right.
Okay, two things I want to touch on the caller what I said. He said that we were run, or our government has been run by persons of mixed heritage. And I can't see lie in there. I know some of them names, mixed names, they've changed the names here and there. So I just have one question. Calling for Minister Haitian. I want to ask what you call Minister. I'm a Haitian. So,
well, the way I see it, our country 50 years ago was a small country, developing nation, and certain levels of government we needed the experience, and a lot of persons were imported to the Bahamas to assist with the growth and development. Now, a lot of those persons, they paid, they did their work, they were paid for the work that they did. Some of them stayed and some of them left. However, we have a particular group of people who just want to keep coming, and they feel as if we owe them something. We owe them nothing. And we need for them to understand that the Bahamas does not owe you anything. Those persons or individuals who came and assisted the development of this nation, they were paid for the work that they did. We owe them. We don't owe all of you.
Right.
So we would appreciate it if you all would stop coming in these groups on Facebook and WhatsApp and telling us Bahamians that we owe you all homage for the work that you were paid for. Not you were paid for, but others. What
I like to say is we built this country.
No, you built nothing. You bleed this country. That's what you do, because you pay for absolutely nothing.
And you
You go to our schools for free. You go to our healthcare facilities for free. You access social services. You are not required to pay anything. You go and help your children in our hospitals. You're not allowed to pay anything. So now it's time for you to show us appreciation. And how do you do this? How do you and your children do this? You do this by coming in these WhatsApp groups and on Facebook groups and telling us, but our ass, literally, and talking about how our country ain't no good, and that's why you all go into the States. And this is so we see it like this is a trend for you to come here, and the only time you want to claim the Bahamian citizenship or show homage or show dedication or loyalty to this country is when y'all got to get deported, or when immigration is involved, or when we got to break down illegal shanty downs. Now you Bahamian.
But it's the U.S. and France that owes them.
But I want them to know that. And the same corruption that led to the demise of their country is the same corruption that is literally taking over our country. And we are saying to you that we are tired. Go and fix your country so we can fix what we have here.
Listen, I had to blow up on somebody who was in my snap, commented on a snap I posted today, and literally I had to blow up on this person because the person was like, y'all always talking about the Haitians. The Haitians doing the same thing the humans doing. Just how y'all going to the US and y'all looking for a better life, we come into the Bahamas to look for a better life. I say, yeah, we go to the US, we ain't living in no bush.
Thank you.
We ain't living in no bush. We go to the US and we live in civilized communities. Y'all want to go and take our land, like Shanique said, take our land. Y'all want to go in our hospitals and crowd the wards. Y'all want to crowd our schools. I mean, it's like, what else y'all want from us? It's time for y'all to go home, point blank. Go home. I said it. Get.
But Graham said they eat people though. So I can
Going around. Listen, we can barely take care of our own people. We barely surviving. We are struggling to survive. How on earth are we now going to take on a whole other nation on our backs?
I think they are 15 million. Is it not? Their population.
I think it's 11 million.
Give or take 2 million.
They want us to absorb all of that.
Listen,
okay, but 1% wealthy.
Listen,
We have 10%.
I agree with what Mr. Bean always say. I do not have a problem with Haitians because some of my best friends are Haitians. One of them I had to block today for the same reason because you overstep the boundary. Don't do it. But the problem is with illegal immigration. Y'all can't keep coming here like that and think it's okay.
Y'all shouldn't be here.
Y'all shouldn't be here. That's y'all are criminals in our country. Y'all are criminals. Y'all ain't no better than the murderers and the rapists. Because y'all murdering and raping our country. Left, right, and center. Y'all go home, please, man. Go home.
Listen, you heard the heart of a Bahamian. We are all here. We are all Bahamians here, and we feel exactly how you feel. Please call in. Tell us how you feel about the immigration situation because it seems like the government taking care of everybody else besides the one people. Every day I hear the government, oh, leave them because they have an injunction. Leave this. And the government are taunting their people. And I never seen the government more efficient than when it comes to bringing down their people, especially those that are on the crown land. You can call in 804-4264. Let us hear from you.
And just like that, we have called. Can I call or talk that?
Hey, yeah, I want to get on the talk show.
You want to talk to? Go ahead, call her.
Hello? Okay, listen. You are making sense, right?
Repeat that.
I say you're making a lot of sense to the thing is you'll have to challenge the government, the prime minister, and the minister of things.
Did you hear what you said?
I'm sorry, sir. Could you please speak clearly?
Turn your volume down so we can hear you call out.
Speak again.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, what I'm saying, you all make a lot of sense. But the thing is, you have to make this stuff a talk on the prime minister office and not to the MPs. Don't put on this college.
You said, I'm going to repeat what you said. You said, we're making sense, but we have to make the attack against the prime minister, not against
the member of parliament and the prime minister office, all of them, in conjunction with causing all this chaos in this country, and there's no one calling them accountability.
I agree with you. I feel like we need to put the pressure on the government, our MPs. We need to put the pressure on them to do the jobs that we put them in. They are on our mandate. We are not on their mandate.
not the Haitians and not the Cubans in them here. They here exploiting us. But it starts from the top in this country, from the leadership.
It does.
I'm calling, but let me just interject something there. In all reality, and I know my co-hosts them when like throw rock at me for saying this.
It's okay.
In
Go ahead.
all reality, COI is not the official opposition. It is not our job to hold the Prime Minister and his MPs accountable. Whose job is it?
The official
The
opposition.
official opposition. I don't know what it is, but
But it's only being the COI that's being holding them accountable.
Exactly.
so what happens if the COI decides to hide its head in the sand?
Then we
Well,
have no opposition.
My friend,
Go ahead, Paul.
listen. Everything starts from the government. Okay? We can attack all the Haitian, all the Cuban, all of them. Matter of fact, I don't want none of them here. But we have to hold those guys who we want in power to protect us and protect this country and the future generation. You have to hold them. They are the biggest culprit around this farmers, around the world. Them. And second, the church don't say nothing.
But the church want crown land, so what you expect them to say?
Yeah, but listen, you have to go after the government. That's where it all starts from them. I ride this country every day. I go to Iriston and go to the Blair. This country is 30.
Yes.
I agree.
I don't walk around every day, and I don't see any immigration officer running the toilet, stopping no one, nothing. There's something wrong.
So, how do you feel about BPL? We're agreeing with you. How do you feel about the government saying that there is an increase?
Repeat again?
How do you feel about the increase in light bills from BPL?
The increase in.
Well, your prime minister has announced that.
The prime minister has announced that we now have an increase in light bill. How do you feel about it?
Listen, look on the real market, international market, and look at the price of fuel going down. How could you have the fuel going down on the international market, and you come and say you increasing fuel? I mean, increasing the power bill. That don't compute.
So this is where the Bahamian people, public, need to stand up and start saying something. You know, COI have been, defending the people, and they've been vocal. They've been keeping the government accountable, and this is when the Bahamian public need to say, no, enough is enough. We are tired of you just increasing. Inflation is already at an all-time high, and I know that person's off.
The thing is, I watched the show earlier with the middle girl, and she had on Cassius Stone on.
Mm-hmm.
And, he made some excellent points that all of us know. The government can go as a government to another government and buy their fuel directly. You don't have to go to no middleman to buy no fuel of the government and go to no one to buy nothing. You can go directly to the source and buy. They go to a middleman. All they're doing is all the guys own that company. All the prime minister, most of the MPs own the fuel company that BC buys the fuel from. We all know that.
Well, I know BPL.
They is the biggest force in the world. Payments. Especially the black ones. I'm a black man. We said no, and a lot of these targets, they just became destroyers. Understand?
Yes.
Listen, I don't know what it is. And Grand Bama, you could let a company put an agreement for sale. You cannot, there's no court unless you get agreement from them.
Okay, I know BPL is an issue that we are facing with today with the increase, but right now we really have to deal with this immigration problem.
Because if we don't get a handle on this, we will not have a country in the next few years. We will not have a country. We will not have a country to leave to our children or for us to live out our last years. Immigration is a pressing issue in this country. We have to target and attack that.
You have to go after the prime minister. And the man you get rid of them.
Quiet about it. Everybody is quiet about this immigration problem, like the Obed Strong and all of them.
Okay, good night. Thanks.
Good night, sir. Thank you.
My thing is the fish thinks from the head,
Mm-hmm.
all right? So the government is the problem when it comes to this immigration problem in this country.
Give me,
But that caller made some valid point.
He did?
Because
Yeah.
Listen,
hold on, before we go forward, I want you to see Brave plan for crime and immigration. Give me the plan for immigration, it's like crime. No, that orange thing.
Oh,
That's the plan. I see the plan for Brave,
right there.
crime and immigration.
I hope when the gunman run up on your heart, you know what it is.
Well, I got you. I
You walking when I was working. When y'all walking in the morning trying to catch the bus to work and someone grab y'all in the bus, you want y'all to do it. That's what he wants y'all to do.
Wow.
This is Brave plan for immigration. I mean,
Yes.
crime.
So that's what the bus driver yesterday should have had a whistle.
The bus driver and the officer board rest their souls should have had one of these if you leave it to Brave.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's the
Trouble.
the family.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
This is why when you see Mr. Bain or COI calls for the people to come together, you need to get up. We appreciate you calling in, but we want to see you there physically. Because if we don't stand up, they definitely will keep sitting down. So we have to, even though we would say their problems, let's look at ours. Stand up.
We have a call on that. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Butler.
Go ahead.
I was trying to get over. Oh, yeah, so.
for callers, you can call on 804-4264, #talk that. We want to hear from you because these issues are pressing and definitely that this plan is not going to work. Mothers lost their sons yesterday. Wives lost their husbands yesterday.
Good night, caller, talk that.
Yeah, tonight they calling about the immigration problem, man. Our government needs to just grow some balls in this country, man. Because how you can let other countries come dictate about immigration problems in our one country when they are overrun by immigration and immigrants. And they telling us what to do in our country. If they have a problem with it, they might as well just take the immigrants in their country and let us deal with our country. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
True.
And the minimum wage thing, $250, when the time we should go in the shop and spend $100 and then gone. Then you get light bill, water bill, cable bill. Come on, man, they gotta do better than that, at least for $500, man.
I agree.
And then we have to look at the criminal element. We don't know who's coming in this country. We missing the fact that this boat carrying illegal immigrants yesterday had cocaine, drugs on the boat.
Right.
But they claim or they just act like they don't know where these things coming from. So we need to know if this government of the day supports illegal immigration or migration and illegal activities.
Yeah, they
They have to present the prime plan for this nation. What I call it?
I feel like the government would be getting paid from other countries to be keeping these illegal people in their market. You know, where you could just be keeping them in another country, dictate you and telling you what to do. You gotta be getting some money to people to be housing these people.
things like, they just don't know the drugs. First of all, they're not only smuggling drugs, they're human smuggling. The human trafficking, actually. And they're not only bringing themselves, but they're bringing, drugs. And we all know what comes along with drugs, guns.
Maybe gang members too.
I can't hear you all. I can't really hear what you're saying, but that's all I need to say.
All right, go on.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. We have another call on the line. Good night, caller. Talk that.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, caller. We can hear you.
I have one thing to say. Before I hang up. I don't know why y'all talking about the government or whatever. What you expect if you put in power a lawyer? This is what a lawyer job is to do.
We go great with you. Listen, that's y'all what voted the New Day.
He can only do what he's good at, lying and thieving. So you can't never take his word for nothing.
So do you feel like they're gonna use the monies from the carbon credit to pay off our national debt?
No. Oh, no.
Like what?
Do you feel like they're gonna use the funds from our carbon credit to pay off our national debt?
No, we know that that's not gonna happen. They you see when even with the prime minister, even with the prime minister is more in the air than he on the ground. He and everybody in the country trying to fix everybody's country.
I agree with you.
That's right. Before he deal with his own people, he making no sense. Him and his wife traveling the world, going to Africa and all these places. What you going to Africa for? He said he going to Africa to try to figure out how to grow food for Bahamians. That make any damn sense?
Actually, no, I think he went to buy the desert to try to grow food for the Indians.
Nothing to do with it.
Caller, let me tell you something. There's countless person on this live that feel the same way you feel, and this is why we have to stand when the clarion call is said for us to come out and support. Come out. Let's be accountable. Let's stand up. Even if you voted for them and you feel like, because I heard many persons said that they are hurting by the student government and they voted for them. If you feel like there's time for change, let's stand up for change and come out. Caller.
I understand where you're coming from. I was an Exuma and COI was not even Exuma. I put in the box, I put COI, but in the thing, that was nowhere on the ballot. So I
So make sure that over the person you can.
And don't forget, and don't forget about the town hall meeting. That's this Sunday, October 9th. I see my person, Blue Hill Road South at 5 p.m.
So, okay, we're going to move on to our next segment. Go ahead, Penny. Someone said in the comments that the money from the carbon credits going in some MP pocket. How you people that?
That's the them pocketing now. That's too much money. They say they were selling premiums. It wasn't that much money. I think they say the sign was like $2.5 billion. So the truck here in the sign was $6 million or some $3 million or something like that for the truck.
I think we need our freedom of information.
Yes,
We just need that to be enacted. Because it's obvious we cannot take their word for anything. They sell us any old shit and we take it. We believe in giving them second, third, fourth chances. But we are afraid to take chances on ourselves and our children. It's sad. We gotta do better.
Okay, there you have it. Our segment in the know. We're going to move on to our next segment, crime. I know we touch on it, but before we go into it, I just want to extend condolences to the families that were affected by those two gentlemen that lost their life this week. We know you're hurting, we just want to extend the condolences from the call back.
You have a call on the line. Oh, we missed the call. Yeah, we want to extend our condolences, definitely. Because nobody is feeling until it hits your door.
Yes, so
and we could say or think what happened, but nobody knows exactly what happened. And there has to be an answer for it. There has to be accountability for it. There has to be a plan for it.
But if I recall, this New Day government was criticizing the FNM because crime was up and said that that wouldn't happen on their watch.
Yeah,
But you forget they was putting up the billboards and the plaques.
With the numbers.
You put on the roundabouts, but
Yeah,
it was
to win an election.
Oh, it was Leslie Miller. Hey, who was putting up the billboards with the crime companies? And
I really guess the watch is broken.
well, we can no longer politicize crime. We need everybody to come and work together, put comments together, and come up with an action plan to fight this criminal element in our country that's wreaking havoc in our society. We once was a peace-loving nation. Now we keep turning into a nation of, I don't know what. It's a war zone.
But the persons have already spoken. They said get rid of the government, put a new one in, and that can solve the problem. Because obviously every government that comes in, they keep agitating, we're going to do something to resolve crime. And when they come in, they're either traveling or doing something other than helping the Bahamian people and our country to heal. I heard on one of the Plan 2025, Vision 2025 in Qatar, you know, where they help their persons. You see, when they, Vision 25, they said that persons who have benefited from the sovereign wealth fund, they have minimal crimes in their country. Do you think if the government would just do things to heal the people, that would help? Because a lot of these guys probably committing these crimes because they're trying to feed their families. They're trying to do stuff. I'm not justifying what they do, but what's the reason why young men are committing
One word, one word only. Poverty. Poverty is the foundation of crime. Because if I'm good and you good and you good and you good and you, we have no reason. It's because of poverty. It's because the government feels on you. Let me rephrase that. Grassroots. They don't want to call you all the poverty people. They don't call you all grassroots.
Over the hill.
Over the hill. You know, it's those areas that they want to keep feeding crumbs to, that they could suck the life out of it. Or if you want your life, because you want my life, I'm here, be all my life, and all your life.
We got enough said. That's
Come
right.
on.
Still suffering.
But there is hope, and there is a chance for a better label. Instead of being labeled grassroots supporters, there's a better label.
This is Norwegian. Walk around, boy, nigga kill a nigga cold.
You understand?
But that's crazy when they not to be proud of.
What?
All your life you will feel like you are and your country in the way it's a mindset. It's a mindset of the people.
God, nigga, boy, fucking drink on the head, boy.
I want to say that this is when you went to have a fucking meeting. This like mid-morning. And this is what's happening on the streets. We have persons saying that there is no issue. This is happening in broad, like it's happening in the Miami.
Hey, bro, look at the bus driver there. The bus driver there, they go up and them get him as now. One get through the gun here. Hey, boy, that nigga riding block you, boy. Block you, boy.
And do you know why? It's because there's no capital punishment no more.
No.
I shoot you today, I go on bail tomorrow. And then they
you could get bail for murder before you could get bail for weed. True. Make that make sense.
Or stealing. Because I remember the little guy was stealing $1. I don't know if you all heard that story. He stole $1 of the truck and the judge gave him a year or 2 years in jail or something like that. And here it is, we have murderers walking the streets.
But
but don't worry, because they got on go ahead.
They wear an ankle bracelet and still committing crimes.
Make that make sense.
Listen, you took the words right out of my mouth. Call it. We want to hear from you because this is serious times, you know. I know we're touching on in the know what's going on in the news. No, I want to hear someone call in. How do you feel about, you know, the spiritual aspect of it? Because are we being covered Are we being covered? Because
I feel as if we are being disrespected and we need to take that personal. Our government does not care to listen to our cries, our concerns, our issues, our problems. They are oblivious to what we got to deal with on a daily basis. I feel disrespected as a Bahamian in my country. And we all know what the saying is, disrespect, you know,
Slap up. No. Not at all.
you have to take it seriously. You really have to take it seriously.
Right?
Again, the line is 804-4264. We want to hear from you.
I just want to touch piggyback on what Shanique would have said. Are we covered? Yeah. Why is the church so quiet when it comes to crime? You know, back in the day, you had like street people.
Yes.
They used to have like on the Bible, just the word. You know, and you will see the gunmen them come and put their mask and they gun down, and you know, it was that kind of respect on the street.
Yes.
But now we don't have those.
You know why? Because now
the church one from last one.
no, the filthy lucre is now inside the church.
That's right.
The drug man giving the money to the church.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Somebody, now I in my church, so let me just clear that up. Okay. Pastor, you good. But we don't do that kind of thing. But honestly, you have the gunman and the drug man bringing money to the church. So if the church already tie up in the pockets of these criminals, what they to say? They hypocrites. They are hypocritical. That's why they're quiet. And for the Crown Lounge, some of them won't Crown.
But like you
They
say,
get
not by good church. Call us. We want to hear from you. Listen, because I feel like we need to be covered. We know what's going on in the north. We know crime is up. We know immigration is a serious problem. We know they try to keep Mr. Bean on HOA. Listen, this is a serious problem.
They put him in the head north and
he has been standing up for the Bahamian.
They didn't want them. They didn't want him in there.
This is gonna make no.
No. I didn't think it would run to make.
They high five and they yell. No. Oh, we have a call on the line. Good night, caller. Talk that.
I have to call up the same. I think personally the church needs to say on the politics.
They can't say the politics, but they try and put one of them for Governor General.
I think personally because we're supposed to be a Christian nation. I don't think the church needs to be in politics.
Religious nation.
Supposed to.
I don't think really the church needs to be in politics, but I think the church needs to be marching. Like every time, and I think it is so sad. The only time they will basically probably be on the road when they hit their doorstep, and I don't think that's right. And I'm selfish. I think the church needs to be marching when anybody have anything to say, well, basically about the government or the Bahamian people. I think the church needs to back up and back us up. Because staying in the four walls and just not saying anything, it's ridiculous.
Agreed. We agree with you.
We have me call up.
But the church is not doing it. The church is not doing it.
The church is quiet.
Can you hear him?
Go ahead.
Quiet because if they speak, that will affect their bottom line.
Caller, you still there?
Business, most of them.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, like let me just talk with the caller. He said that he believes that the church should march. You know, when they offend the Bahamian people or when they talk against the church is march, man. All the other guys wait for Baptist Sunday march. They dress and they march. That's a fashion show. Only time they can dress up and go on the road. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, when you
Which pastors are
Okay, the number again is 804-4264. Listen, if we don't laugh, we gonna cry. We have to find some type of light to lift the weight, because this is serious that's going on in this country, and it's very heavy because guess what? But listen, it's very heavy. I'm heavy, you know. Husband, my wife lost her husband yesterday.
Yes.
That's how I was working. There are many persons that work on especially husbands, you know, overtime just to help make ends meet. You understand? I don't know what's going on, but clearly the government needs to deal with this. All these bunch of posts they're sending around to try to encourage their good governance. Talk about the things that matter. What are you doing with immigration forward? Share your views on how you're gonna help deal with that. What are your views on helping the Bahamian people to be able to sustain themselves? We talk about jobs. The average jobs nowadays paying someone minimum wage, which is $2.10, which is not enough. We need to keep the government accountable. We really need to. Call us, #talk that, call in 804-4264. We would like to hear from you. We want to talk with BPL. We want to talk with Keith Bell and how you feel about this immigration situation, crime. We want to talk about it. And then listen, it's time for change. It's really time for the change. I see the teachers protested in HOA. That was really good for them. Really waking up.
HOA had a hell of a week.
But guess what? I saw their ad, the government had their ad, and the government's really looking out for the teachers.
And lo and behold, here we have, I think that's over 100 teachers out there protesting. Not only did they protest in front of House of Assembly, but they before that one money they was in front of Brave office, but he wouldn't know because he didn't have to be here. I think he's somewhere flying on the country or somewhere. But they was before they was in front of the court office, and then they was over by the House of Assembly. All they be here there. Because last time when the people was over there protesting against Ministry, like, did you hear the people? You hear the people, Minister? Respect the people cry. Listen to the people cry. You listen to the people cry. You gotta hear it.
I think we need to stop being so isolated in the causes we're fighting for. True. I think everybody from every group and every aspect of industry and communities should support each other. Yeah. If you're going out today, you fighting for your cause, I'm fighting for my cause. Right. We can join together, and guess what? We can bring the government to their knees, and so you can get what you want, and I can get what I want. Power is in the numbers.
I learned this in school because I have
Raise up.
yeah, I have one. So this what I learned. When your hand raised up, they have to teach it. And I said that to say this. Everyone who has been through school came for teacher. That's the prime minister, that's doctors, that's lawyers, that's whoever. Joneses even. You all see some of these Joneses. They've been in school too.
And some of them smart as hell.
Teachers are the building block of a nation. If anybody's supposed to be, well, I mean,
straight,
like a nail, box, and straight is the teachers. Police, COP has come through, AFP has come through teachers, Governor General's come to teachers. Give me something else. What's come to teachers? Healthcare. I mean, everybody who builds a nation comes to teachers. Like, you have teachers, not one day, I mean, 2 days back to back in front of y'all. Place of business.
They came to an agreement. What happened?
I thought they did.
The government didn't
The working environment, the working environment is the problem. And I don't blame them. If you're in a hostile work environment, I'm not going to work either.
That's with the principal.
Yeah, and they don't want to, because, some people are untouchable because of who they.
So you saying the principal is a PLB?
Well, I say that she might have been an acronym once upon a time. But I'm just saying, she seems to be untouchable because this is her third school that she has a problem with.
But it seems that like all of these alleged PLP supporters who are high government folks, they want to abuse and take advantage of the workers. What is this going on inside this country? Where are they getting this from? Let's spit on one the other day. Now this one fight the teacher. I mean, what we have going on in this country?
That's the new day government. That's what they're allowed to do.
Where the head go, the body follow. So brave, I can't run it. What you think with the?
Oh, I forget that one who knocked down the police officer. I ain't call no one name. I ain't call no one name. I'm talking to you. You knocked down the police officer that day.
The video right there to prove it. So that ain't even alleged.
So we have that video to play.
Nico.
You reach that segment again to know, and guess what? There has been a lot of things going on this week. We want to hear from you. Let's talk about what's going on in our country and see how we can move our country forward for healing to be brought upon us. The number is 804-4264.
It's going to take all of us working together to make this happen. All of us. It has to be a united effort.
You think BMS ready to unite to that point?
We're getting there. We're getting there. We still have some work to do, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
I just want to touch back on Mr. Bell. Okay. The reason why I want to touch back on him is because they think it is so simple that they can stand up in the honorable house and lie. Pretend as though they're blind. They don't see. They don't hear. They don't know. Before the election, they knew what was going on in the country. Then you want to call us stupid in your sarcastic way by saying there's no problem. You're calling me stupid. I'm really expecting an apology. I'm living in the community. So if I'm living in the community and I see and I know what's happening, come on. You're that much behind the gate until you don't know? Don't you have to ride the roads or the streets? You see them day in, day out, and yet still you're going to say to me, I want you to believe there is no problem. I have a problem.
Yes.
Only in the Commonwealth of Narnia. I'm sorry.
That's the solution.
Oh, yes.
Let's make
Well,
it
every
make
time you see an illegal immigrant, you blow your whistle and say, Keith, see one here.
agree.
So hold on. They expected Maria. Hold on. I gotta talk with this, right? You know Maria's night there, right? They expect Maria to go in the Asian village, right?
Yes.
And take a picture. Hold on. Talk to the Asian and the Asian village.
Yeah, numbers.
Right?
Yes.
Get their name, their number, and ask them for their papers and all that. So hold on. What the immigration officers doing?
They manning government buildings. That's what they do. They are manning.
Then they ask your children if they go around shooting and robbing people.
Oh, wow.
Child girl got with these things.
Maria. Wow.
Nobody want to do their job. They want the people doing their job. So would we have these people in office, or would we hire these people for? That's what I want to know. Keith Bell, Wayne Monroe, and you all out there, call us and let us know. Which was the Thank you.
But you all really notice how quiet Wayne been lately. What's going on in Wayne?
I don't know. Embarrassing.
I think that might be it right now.
We have a call on the line. Good night, caller. Talk that.
Hello.
All right, good night.
Hi. Yes, to answer one of the panelists' questions, like the illegal immigrants and Shanti Khan, I will make 2 points. And the other lady who said she's expecting, or she feels she deserves an apology from Keith Bell. I feel the same way. But hey, they still used to doing that to us. It doesn't matter to them. But for one, with that injunction, we've been allowing the government to get away. They just say an excuse and the Bahamians accept that. But if you read that injunction, the judge never said they can't demolish the shanty towns. You know, she made several stipulations, but she said you cannot demolish anything unless you come to the court. So that doesn't mean you can't demolish it. It just means that you need to go through the courts to get approval to demolish it. But we allow these politicians to just say any excuse, and that's just us. Bahamians don't really tear into things. If you read the instructions, you would see that we don't even need to have this situation going on with these Haitians to just build and build and build the court order so you can't touch them. That's not what that court order says. And so, we need to pay more attention and hold the government feet to the fire. And Mr. Bell, I don't know, we need to just tell these people leave our house, man, because clearly they take us for joke. They think everybody is the average in this country. So we just have to show them better. I think they confused. They the ones who is the average, because if they don't understand what's going on, then clearly something wrong with them. And they're not the brightest bunch anyhow. We always left the bottom of the barrel, if you ask me. So, we need to work on that and hold the government feet to the fire and let them know. We need to make them understand and respect the English language and the definition and the meaning of words and sentences, and not just throw words at us or throw an excuse at us and think it's okay. All right, thank you. The BPL, I mean, that's just ludicrous, because if oil price is going down, how do you justify to me that you need to increase my bills? I mean, and I think that alone deserves the public to go to Rotten Square and tell Brave Davis, no day, no way. We really should not accept that.
All right, thank you, Gordon.
Okay, bye-bye.
I just want to touch on what my mother said, that he said we heard this a lot, like it's the average nation. You know what I mean? That's a slap in the face to our teachers, you know. Hard-working teachers get up every day, go in their own pocket and talk to the children that they love. But everybody says that's the average nation. Good night, caller. Talk that.
Hi, good night, ladies and gents.
Hey.
How are you all?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I just wanted to say congratulations to all of you for standing up for your country and for believing that the future of the Bahamas is so there that we can taste it. It is right there.
Yes.
I just wanted to call in and say, with regards to the immigration crisis, to Mr. Bell, who believes that there is no crisis, sir. Every day we walk around our country and we can feel the shift in the air with the influx of migrants that are actually in the country. And the job market is being overrun. The small business market is being overrun. And the illegal immigrants that actually come into the country have no regard for the way they display their goods. You understand? And then here we have Ms. Jobet. Jobet allowed countless Haitian migrants or people who just came to the Bahamas and took a place here and say, hey, I'm a Bahamian because I have a passport. And they are allowed to sell our tourism, whereas tourism is supposed to be primarily owned by Bahamians. See, we talk about country, they're saying something that we could just jump up and say, oh yeah, we need to get them out the house. No, sir. No, ma'am. This situation that we are dealing with is going to require the entire country to stand up. And it is going to take, if it's not in the vision of the people to understand how detrimental of a situation we are in, then look around your surroundings. Check your grocery stores, check your corner stores, and see who are the owners. See who you are passing your Bahamian dollar to every single day. Okay? We need to change the mindset and the concept of our thinking in this country, where we feel like, oh, it's just okay because they come here, they want a better way of life. But guess what? We doing the same thing, jumping on the aircraft and leaving the country. All right? So Bahamians have to stand up. This is not us talking about the problem. We have to now address this problem head on. And all going to take the entire country. Children, voting age 18, start paying attention to politics because it is about your future. And our future is dwindling faster than ever. So I just want to say tonight, thank you all for giving the Bahamian people a platform, a voice, somewhere to come and speak and voice how they really feel. Because our children that we have birth in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas have a right to this country. This is their birthright. The land is their birthright. And we have a right to stand up as citizens, mothers and fathers of Bahamian descent. We have a right to stand up and take our country back for what we want it to be. Bring back the dignity to our country. Yes. And that's all I wanted to call and say. I just wanted to move and touch somebody because really it's time that we face the real reality of what is happening in the Bahamas. We are being overrun. The legal situation is out of control and the government is standing still. They are at a standstill and we got to do something about this. So I just want to thank you all for allowing us the platform to speak our minds, speak how we feel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else notice the foreign women that goes on that hill behind that church? I think it's after you pass the hot party place.
Original party.
Yeah, they go up that hill. I don't know if they go to the church or if they're in the bush.
But they praying or chanting or doing something.
Chanting bush. They got to be chanting. Because I mean, you should see them. You should see them.
But someone touched on that before.
Yeah.
I believe you.
What are you praying for?
They're going to go on.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yo, call on.
That's why I said they might come off. They wanted to.
Nice on the talk back.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you hear me loudly?
Loud and clear. Talk back.
Hey, wonderful. Talk back. This is the first time I'm calling this talk show. I've listened to quite a number of persons already, and they are talking back. Okay, my concern is the reason we are having so many problems, okay, in this little country is because of politics. I think if us as Bahamians be more national and stop being so political, I think we will see what's happening in this country. But because we are so political, we are so, so stuck on my party and all of that, that's how come we so dim. And so many things are just happening, and it's like we have no concern, no care. We are not bother over it, because we are so into this my people here now, and so I feel like we just need to just forget this politics, man. Forget about the contract, and forget about where I'm benefiting from, and just be a Bahamian now. Before, when we turn around, we have nothing for our grandkids, nothing left in this country, and that's my concern right there. Once we get this politics on the side, and let's stand up and just hold on to our birthright, we will be fine. Let's politics. That's our biggest problem. That's all I want to say. Nice show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for that call.
Some person's got problems for that. One particular person. But they're in the bush. They're not in those people's church.
Well, actually, she was told that they were given permission
To pray in the bush.
to be up there praying.
I'm telling you, something know about that. We need to find out this.
I'm telling you, every day I see that.
I remember the report when the woman said they were in witchcraft. When there was a particular person, people church, and they say the ladies are given permission to go in the back there and do whatever it is that they doing.
So what do they do that at the church? Do they pray at the church or in the bush?
In the bush. But it's on the property.
It's on the church's property. Okay, well.
I mean, for now, we're speculating. If anyone knows what's going on in that area, could you give us a call? 804-4264. We want to know what's going on by the church up by the hill on the roundabout.
Where is Senator? One over there. It's a lot of them
That's a Tony.
in that, yes.
I just want to touch on something that
I'm gonna buy it.
said. And she said that it's national versus political.
Should be.
Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to be national versus political? What is it to be national?
I think what she is trying to say is it should be about country rather than politics. It should be about what you want for the future of yourself and your children rather than who you want in government. I think that's what she's trying to say.
I wouldn't really so much use the word politics, because I always tell people, politics is not a dirty thing. It's the people who execute it.
People make it.
Okay? And my reason for saying that is simple as this, okay? We need politics. We really do. That help governs the country. It literally help governs the country. But when you have evil-hearted people, persons who don't care, persons who say they love rather than just telling you, I hate you, greedy people, you understand me? So for me, I don't call politics dirty. I call the executionists. Because if they are responsible to make sure that these laws and constitutions is to be upheld or uphold and you're not doing it, then what are you saying? You understand me? Then what are you saying? But then too, if you look at it, when most people speak the word politics, they're talking about political parties. They're literally talking about the parties. Either it's a PLP or FNM. Okay? So when they say politics, let us remember that that is exactly what they're talking about.
Okay, listen, I am feeling you, and I heard that caller, and I completely agree.
Let me just say one thing about politics before we wrap that up. Politics, we must get involved in politics. Politics affects the way you live, constitution, you work, you play. It also affects the future of your children. So stop saying, I don't like politics, I don't get involved in politics, or politics ain't my thing. Politics should be a thing, okay? Because we have a government that is not transparent and not honest with us. So we need to take it upon ourselves now to be our own journalists, because they are not even honest with what they report. All right? So that's all I want to say about that.
Okay, so before we wrap our segment up, and I just want to touch on two things that I saw in the comments, because I see these comments keep popping up. One person knows that our Waukee is completely owned by the Haitians, the stores, did y'all know that? Is that true?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
How is it that something that represents our culture, Bahamian dishes, is completely owned by foreigners?
Because you have some Bahamians who hired them for cheap labor, and what they did, they taught them how to cook the cuisine that we love to eat. And what these persons did, they took advantage of that opportunity, and now they are out and they want to be entrepreneurs in the business, selling it to us who are consumers. So I mean, that's just the way it is. But we have to take a stand. We don't have to patronize these people. You understand? Because there's still a lot of Bahamian owners, business owners out there on our Waukee Strip. Okay, so
how do you know which ones are Bahamian owned from foreigners?
Exactly.
If you're not a frequent, allegedly.
Good night, caller. You talk up.
Let's just focus on more on our party. National, let's be Bahamian. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for example, when my party is in, I just shut up. And then when the other party is in, I have all the That's my point I'm trying to make. I love politics. Politics is who runs and supposed to govern the country. I'm involved in that. But I don't like the fact that I am more political than national or Bahamian. I see the fault in them all. I'm not no Diane, nothing. I just, you see my point now? So I just wanted to call to explain that, okay?
Okay, thank you for calling back.
Okay.
Okay, again, the number is 804-4264. We're gonna take up 2 more calls. Again, hashtag talk out.
Before we move on, we have a video we wanna share, we wanna play, and we wanna get your feedback on it. And keep in mind, these are our neighbors, and these are our what are we patronize these people. But your take on it. We're going to just play that video in a short minute, okay? And I just want to get your feedback on.
This is about our key. You know, a lot of people are posting.
This about praying in the wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Okay, I don't know if I like what I see.
You wanna see that one?
What are they praying for?
And why can't they go into church
And pray.
and pray?
So someone said in the comment, Bahamians are renting their stores of Arawaki to the Haitians. Oh, that's a big problem no one wants to address. Okay, call if you want to call. The number is 804-4264 because I keep seeing this pop up in the comments and persons are always touching on it. I think this needs to be addressed. We need to talk about it. Do you have the video? Okay.
Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you. And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call you all, you all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian, and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. Hey, long now.
Are you all ready and willing to go?
All right, so tell me your feedback. You all see the video. You all wondering why the people running Arawaki. You all wondering why the people running on Cricket Island with drugs in the boat. You all wondering why they here in hundreds on still. You all wondering why the fence force ain't catching them. You all wondering why people crying for help and the people saying there's no immigration crisis. That's the answer right there. I is you.
And you with me. You with me?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said it. Did he not? He said it. So who are we to come and say, oh, you guys stop this? Or
We heard ISU when you was me, but they heard come.
That's what it was.
Country open.
They
Come.
process information.
Yeah, that's what they heard.
Much differently than we do.
It's okay. Come.
Yeah. I mean, open invitation.
That was a sad day in our country. That was a sad day in our country.
King said this video has some serious key notes that needs to be addressed. And I agree, you know, we keep putting a blind eye, these not Bahamians, but the government is putting a blind eye.
What did he meant by this speech? Because he never clarified himself, and I want to know
He had nothing to say about it.
he's not addressing this.
Not going
But
to
he sees us as not the reason why these people coming here in droves. But in 2 weeks of the PLP administration, so who they
They were
caught.
coming in South Beach, right?
Listen,
And Inagua.
Mhm.
Now, Inagua, we all know the population of Inagua consists of elderly people and young children. What if these people somehow strong arm the people on Inagua? They could have taken over because it's only like 900 of them. They could have easily taken over Inagua and made Inagua a Haitian colony in the Bahamas.
you have to keep in mind, like when he made that speech, he was in Prime Minister here. And
However, when he won, they came 2 weeks later.
That's what I want to say, because a part of his speech said,
So
we
PLC,
have to be apart now.
so we can be together later.
That's when he became PM. Come when I PM. You all know me?
Yeah.
I think about it. We have to be apart now because I can PM.
Well,
So we can be together later. Vote for me, I can be PM, you all straight.
he created this problem and he's gonna be the one he has to fix the problem.
He can't fix the problem if he is indulging in the problem.
Created this problem.
Listen, that's like somebody who addicted to porn, and all I know how to do is watch porn. Damn life. You there want to fix that? No, I don't want to fix that. I'm gonna get off. So he getting off, and every time you see one, say, "Oh, come in." Oh, yeah.
They might people,
People,
Right? Yeah. Passport. Let's go, passport.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think we need to clarify that. Keep
You
that.
better take passport.
yes.
It's called dumb. Hey, passport.
Yeah, we just be right in the room.
They just get off on that every time, and then when if they ever get you, they're oh, I tell the boss, man, let's stop this for what? No, I'm going.
But honestly, what is the purpose of having an immigration department if they cannot carry a business?
Because you all don't want no PLP, so they have to eradicate you all.
No.
I told you not to say those words.
Oh, God.
Brought up C.
No, but that is the plan. If you look at it, if you eradicate you, and they hate to hear this word, the organic beings.
Rudy Bethel said the only way to fix this problem is for him to get out of the HOA.
Yes.
For him,
That's the only way to fix a
all
lot
of
of
the
our
money
problems. We need to get rid of the PLC and make it so the F&M never.
You
Yeah,
just need an
yeah.
example. Once you make an example of one,
the
then
FM.
they'll understand the language that enough is enough and we tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now keep in mind, if God smiles on us and all you all open your eyes and COI does become the government, we need to have strong opposition. We want people who hold COI
Accountable.
to follow. We want, for instance, to say, no, your audience doing what you're saying. We want that. But can't it be the FNM and can't it be the PLP? We have a call on the line. Good night, caller. Talk that.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, good night.
Good night.
Yes, I want to say that you notice that when any government come into power, that they come in with a crisis. But this government that came into power, I mean, it came in with so many crises. We not just have one or two crises. We have crisis in crime. We have a crisis in our educational system, a crisis in our healthcare system, a crisis in our immigration system, a crisis in every system with our land being invaded. And it seems like the media is quiet. I'm wondering why we are not hearing what is taking place around our country. Why is the media not addressing what is taking place? We need a new media. I believe you guys, 7 of you all there, I believe that's a unique number for completion. I believe that God is now raising up a new generation who will actually make its people aware, bring awareness of what is taking place in our country, that the humans will be awakened to the fact, knowing that we are invaded by illegals. All right? And we have a crisis in this country. And if the humans don't stand up now, then guess what? We'll be, like Sir Lyndon said, don't have nothing. That means if we don't fight and defend our country, then we don't deserve to have it. So good night, y'all. Have a good night and blessings.
Yeah, so we just have to fight for it. If we want it, you know what they say, if you want it bad enough, you know, fight for it. Or they say, if you like it bad enough, let it kill you. Now, either you're going to fight for it or it can kill you. If you want like this kind of
Enough is
treatment,
enough. Enough is enough. Our humans are tired. You know, enough is enough. You know, people are struggling. There's mothers, there's fathers. You know, men are overworked, women are overworked. Enough is enough. This government is only looking out for themselves, and only them and their families are benefiting in the deals they're making. When it was put in place, Bob was supposed to take care of the debt, and the debt still high.
It went up.
Exactly, and it's still high. So, listen.
I know, I hear you say the people tired, but we need the people to be sick and tired because I believe that's when they get out. We need the people now to understand where we are. And I almost call it a game because it ain't a game at this point. This is a matter of life and death for us. So until we understand that, begin to really and truly, we can be moving slower.
Well, we're to the point where I feel like the union is sick and tired. They're sick and tired of all the promises. I'm sure that many of you will begin to show up and support Lincoln Bean, Maria Dodson, and Charlotte Green and the COI team because they're keeping the government accountable. And if any other persons want to come on board to keep the government accountable, well, welcome. This is not about politics or party. You know, it's about the people. We've come to our last segment, guys. I want to wrap up. We've come to our last segment. You know, we shared a lot. You've had a daily dose on how we feel about matters that's concerning us in the news. But you know what? We want a sense of hope your way because people are hurting. And so we've reached our segment where our hearts are yours. And we're going to like Miss Butler to come on and just speak some encouraging words to you because I know many of you they're hurting. I've been saying it all night. Condolences again to the families that lost their loved ones.
I just want to say to you tonight that we've been trusting in man for so long, and at the end of the day, we find ourselves in turmoil. I say that because, according to Proverbs 3:5-6, it said, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him." We can't forget our Creator. We cannot forget the one who we know that we can turn to at any given time, any given hour, to just relief or get a release of what we're going through. We have to remember that to trust in analogy is simple as this. Okay, you have a broken leg. They put a cast on your broken leg. What do they do after that? They give you crutches. Now, you trust these crutches. Each time that you have to make your move, you trust these crutches. Why not trust God in that manner? He is there for your every need. I know some people say, oh, you know, if God so loved me, why He is allowing these things to happen? God had given us a free will and a free choice. And in this free will and free choice, we have made a mess of ourselves. The good part about it is He loves us so much that He cleans it up. So let us begin to find ourselves saying to Him exactly how we feel. God is not deaf. He doesn't have heart attacks. So He can handle whatever situation you bring His way. I know sometimes our heart is full and it's heavy, and we find ourselves in the position as to say, where can I turn? I've learned that in these hours, there's one place you can turn. Look up. David says to us, listen, I look unto the hills, from whence come my help. Now you may say, the hills? God is not in the hills. But what you have to realize is back in the day, you know, the Israelites literally lived behind the hills. The hills were like what we term as a shield, a shelter. So they would find themselves being shielded, and their God was with them all the time. So here it is. If they look unto the hills from whence come their help, and if God is their help, He said, the Lord is. Trust Him. Trust Him. Let us take these faith that we have and place them in Him. Let us, you know, Another analogy, and then in closing, I would always say, even though you're married and you're looking towards your husband to supply whatever need there is, you still got to go to God, ask God to take care of him, to give him the strength, to give him the protection, to allow him to understand what is going on so that he is able to be strengthened. This is what we're saying to you tonight. Trust God. Trust God in everything that you do. Trust him. He said to acknowledge him and he will direct your path. In essence, he has a plan for you. And we know Jeremiah 29:11 tells us the plan. He said, one thing about this plan, it will not destroy you. And because this plan will not destroy you, we're saying to you tonight, trust him. Trust everything in him because he is able to do exceeding, abundant, above and beyond. I challenge you to give your care to God and watch what he'll do for you. Our heart to yours.
So as we close for tonight, we want to just encourage everybody, just keep on keeping on. Not like so you're saying, hold on. Just keep on keeping on. And we would like to, we all guys to join us next week. As we have a special, we ain't tell you who it is, but we have a special guest next week. The only way for you all to know who it is for you all to show up and show. So hashtag like and share. Hashtag ladies. Share and like the video. And we can see you guys next week.
Wednesday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, and don't forget, Sunday is our town hall meeting. October 9th at the S.C. McPherson Junior High School at 5 p.m. You guys have to be there and air your concern and question the true opposition to this farmers. Question him, ask him what his plans are. You guys are the boys. Listen, we only there to be, what is called it? No. Like Lincoln is the mouthpiece, but we there to hold him accountable. So the only way for him to be held accountable is if people show up to make him accountable. But you can't hold nobody else accountable. You only seeing Pinta, them holding no meeting. You only seeing Brave, them holding no meeting. Brave, them going to the back door. Pinta, he ain't never showing up.
Pinta, Mr.
Get tired of
Oh, and next week we will. And next week we will be announcing our winners for those. We're going to go through the comments for those that hashtag and share. And we have a special gift for those that do the most. You all not waiting, so you all like to do the most. So you all do the most. All right. So I'm Leo.
I'm Keisha. I'm Patricia. I'm Penny. I'm Shanique.
I'm Daphne. I'm Bernadette.
And this has been another episode of
Talk Back.
Good night, guys.
Excuse me, wear a mask.
Excuse you, it's October the 1st.
No, daddy oughta go. When since?
Since today.
Yo, there'll be no mask on my face. It's October the 1st. No more masks for me. There will be no mask on my face. It's October the 1st. No more masks for me. Well, let me tell you, we was wearing masks from 2020. When I talk with the mask, they can't hear me. Some people on this road suffocating. Some ain't watching nothing, cause money making. Y'all know I keep it real, ain't no faking. Some still catch the virus, it ain't waking. Some people have a hard time breathing. That's just as bad as internal bleeding. Yo, I ain't wearing no mask. we just talk? Can we just talk about where we're going before we get lost? Let me our thoughts. Can't get what we want without knowing. I've never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm moving too far. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Figure out where we're growing. Yeah.
And it's Bahamians unprepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then you don't deserve to have it.
Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. Just a stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. Change ain't coming, change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go, shalom to all my Hebrew brothers. To all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. Selassie, I know, I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause this a bigger mission. See, they've been doing this for years, trying to separate us. Kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born yet. So the minute that they born, they already gotta check that check. Gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck, yeah. See, y'all been robbing my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother and grandfather. It's like y'all can't get enough. Y'all just keep eating and giving us nothing but taxes. Y'all went even as far as to say that this country's in debt and we ain't got no money. When 9 times out of 10, everybody in this country's possibly a millionaire. It's time to wake up. Let's talk about natural resources, cause every time we bring it up, they say hold your horses. They say it ain't worth a thing, but it's worth a fortune. Meanwhile, they open up their businesses across the borders. Oh yes, we track their bank accounts across the waters. They say this country in debt, but they making millions. If we don't stop this now, they be up to billions. It's about to go down and I get the feeling we gotta cut a movie on these dirty villains. On this Lincoln Bain and his team came with information. It's like everything changed, everything went quiet. It's like so much facts and they can't deny it. They rather keep their mouths shut before they start a riot. Now look how they tryna just steal the oil. They don't wanna share with none of y'all. They been robbing us while we were sleeping. Send them to jail cause they failed, they committed treason. Change ain't coming. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Listen, from Freeport to Nassau all the way to Nagua, there's no more time for us to sit back and be quiet. You understand? This is war. If they only knew who we were, if they only know who we are, they would know we are warriors. No retreat, no surrender. Just give us what you owe us. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. I feel this all the way to my ancestors. We are warriors. We only really want what's owed to us. You get it? Now free up.